Hi Pisces, if you want to come on in, have a seat for some symbolic support. My name is Steph. Here is the scroll made in your name and essence if you want to take a screenshot so you can scry in your own time and terms. We're going to add on some oracle cards in the shaman's palm configuration, and as well we have Ghost Tube Seer here. There it is. If anything comes up for more visual inspirations to inspire, receive or release freely, of course, Pisces. So you're welcome to join me, or you're welcome to fast forward through to open up. Taking a nice deep breath, cleansing the palette of perception, releasing the race and the rush, activating the abstract mind and ancient awareness to perceive and receive symbolic support in the name and honor of Pisces. Pisces, thank you so much for being my muse, for holding space for me to share my insights and allowing me to be a guest in your aura. Gratitude. All right, let's go. Let's take a look here. All right, Pisces, if anything stands out to you, you know the drill. Please feel well to comment below what you see, sense, or feel versus listening to my yammerings. I am seeing something in the water. I think I'm seeing the eyes of a lobster or a crawfish of some sort. I'm also seeing a frog that's smiling. There's also something I don't know if I'm like hitchhiking or like pointing, like look at this guy, eh? It's like Pisces, I don't know. What's going on over there? There's a lot of hand movements and gestures. It's like the power of knowing your fingers, right? Like even in the cave of ice, winds, fire, rivers, earth. But I feel like even in other instances, you understand pointing and how you're pointing. Maybe you're working with mudras, this, that, or the other. There's this balance of passivity and activity at the same time. Like this whole, it's very active, and then there's a balancing of it all. I'm also seeing somebody doing the backstroke, but I'm just like, if this was water, I'm seeing their head like, I think it's the backstroke. Yeah. Anyway. Also, somebody could be in a tub. There might have also been a spirit that passed away by drowning of some sort, and condolences if my heart goes out to you if you're working through that. There's also somebody that could be submerged in emotion. The emotion ocean is kind of in the same air of taking a bath. But I'm really thinking, you know what I mean? Like when you're like half like down in the bath or pool or hot tub, whatever the case may be, and you've got just your eyes above water. No, your nose is still above water because I'm breathing. But it's like my ears can't hear, but I can just see. That's what it makes me feel like. I'm seeing a masculine and a feminine energy up there having a conversation. They're kind of like old-fashioned. Yeah, they're old-fashioned. Like I'm seeing the feminine expressed with like one of those, I don't know if it's Victorian, but it would have like the bump in the back kind of skirt, and he has a top hat on. There's some sort of love story. Like I don't know if because I'm seeing like one of those clowns that looks disheveled, like one of, maybe not a sad clown, but like I don't know. It feels Romeo and Juliet. No, that's not even the right. Like some sort of love story that on the surface wouldn't make sense, but they knew each other. They found each other anyway. It's beyond that. I also feel like Piscean energy might be working through that within the self. Of like one part of me feels very wealthy, and the other part of me feels not wealthy. It's just expressed differently. It's a different wealth. Interesting. It's a different kind of wealth. And whether it's these masculine and feminine energies within the self, and or it is of the something external to you, I feel as though they are trying to come together, or they're already together, if I may, sorry. And they're having this conversation, and they're like exchanging things. I kind of want to say like in a funny way, but not funny if you can resonate with it in a different way, like some sort of like divine drug deal like's going on. All right, almost wandering through the cave here. Awesome. And on the bottom you have Shaman of Foresight. All right, Pisces, I'm trying to see if there's, yeah, you know how it's like the lobsters or the crawfish are like the bottom feeders of the ocean or waters? And again, it's like in here as well. But that bottom feeder is only just an indication of where they're kind of getting their golden nuggets. So there's a misconception over that because I'm feeling wealth in both areas. But I think it's just different kind of wealth. And then moving through your shaman's palm here, starting with your cave of ice, seems to be the spirit is the challenge. I think the challenge has been completed the way I'm feeling it, in the sense that the conversation is happening, whether this is with you and somebody else, the give and take of reciprocity, your job, your partner, this, that, or the other. Because I want to slide this card in here in this opening, like see how there is hands up, and then some down. And that, well, they're not quite down, but it's the same polarity at play. And it's almost like in the cave of winds of the mind, even the celestial mind, like spirit is the space in between these two. And it's like we're, I think, destroying some side of mindset about wealth. I don't know if this is monetary wealth or a lot of different areas. Because like I said, one version of me, one energy of me feels very wealthy in a traditional way. That it would be expressed and it would, make sense. But the other side is just as wealthy, but looks expressed in a different way. So there's some sort of concept that I feel like is being... Spirit of destruction absolutely could be how it's feeling, and that's why I'm having this bath, or I'm soothing myself in some sort of waters that's still. It feels like still water. And then when I start to do the backstroke, it's like I'm moving through the reflections here with the Shaman of Reflections in your hearth fire. And anything, it's like grabbing a hold of these. I'm going to use the snakes in the way the story is coming through versus the many variations that we could go about it. It's like grabbing a hold of any sort of snakes in the grass of your own mind and grabbing hold of them and looking at them and having that conversation and saying, hi, like, what are you doing here? Exchange knowledge. Instead of assuming something is a predator, is invasive because it's a snake and it looks a certain way. And because the symbol looks a certain way, it is assumed to be this, that, or the other. But I feel like there's a quick conversation about it. And I also want to note, like in the shadowing, it's like I'm feeding two things. Like there's two very large shadow energies stepping forward. See if I can do this. Thank you for your patience while I figure all this fun camera things out. But see how there's like feeding, one hand's feeding the other. There's a lot of loyalty, but it's like they bring them to you, like a cat or a dog would bring you something that they have caught in the house or in your property, in your energy. And this is in your hearth fires because this feels where it's focused. It's focused. Coming into your cave of rivers of the feeling is the hunter of abundance. And there's so much fire that I'm feeling. Even though I feel so watery in here, this fire, it's like rubbing two sticks together. And I flipped the scroll. The masculine and the feminine, the up and the down, the right and the wrong, whatever it is, your job or you have a job, but you want your career. Those might be two separate things for somebody specifically. Or emotionally, you're in two different areas. It's like, this is the right thing to do, but this is what I want to do. And this is where I feel well, but doing the right thing doesn't make me feel well. And it's not like it feels like the wrong thing to do intuitively. It's like, because I know it's maybe, in this case, whatever it is, per the example coming through, it's the right thing to do. But I don't really like I don't like that though. I just don't like it. But I know it's the right thing to do for whatever that rightness rightness is within the self. So I'm putting these two sticks together. And I'm creating fire. I'm creating the spark. But there has to be two sticks, right? Even if it's a flint, you still need a sharp knife to cast the flint for the fire of creation. This feels like the space in between. And then coming into your cave of earth is the shaman of stars. And I love how when the shaman of stars comes through, because it's so familial like, it's so family like. And as much as you have creatures that look like they're cast in a shadow, it's only because of the light emanating behind them. It's the light that they come from. And I feel like you might have a large family of people around you. Maybe it's a large corporation or work family. Or I want to say almost like an emotional conflict about something. But I'm soothing it. Okay, thank you, because I'm back in the challenge. I've accepted the challenge. And I'm kind of destroying things that are in my own way. And I need to cool down in my own reflections. Bring any waters into calmness so that I can create my fire. And I don't keep putting my fire out. It all feels very, very abundant. I want to note that, Pisces, this feels like incredible abundance in an emotional space and in an earthly exchange of career, money, whatever materialism you want to manifest. Because even with the shaman of stars coming through in the cave of earth, it's like bringing those down. But I also created the star in the sky. That was my focus. It's like some sort of Big Bang theories going on. Okay, I'm going to flip your scroll. Please do like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. And as well, we're going to add on an aura scroll here to see what supports for Pisces. Interesting. Okay. I'll show it in the other camera angle. Okay. Sacral energies coming through. Yeah, there's like people on jetpacks here. So I'm going to show this to you. There's people on jetpacks. And they're like taking off. There's those flames again, that fire, that spark. And I'm seeing if at some point in time you might have felt like you're a chicken to do something, or you might be a little chicken to make that final call, that final decision. Essentially, you can do no wrong when you realize, and you do realize, and you commit to the action, the activity and passivity of it, the consequence to the action and what you commit to. I feel like you have that understanding. I'm also seeing like a little elfie, gnomey type witch or some sort of creature, and they're kind of like pressing their feet up against something. Something about the light. It's like a creative force, sexual force as well. I feel like I might have been separated. There's some sort of space of separation that I feel I'm sensing as like a punishment. That's just how I'm translating it. That's how it makes me feel, but it's not actually what I think it is. I'm also seeing something about like mer people, mermaid tails. And then down here, it's like I'm seeing a whole landscape of mountains. And like orby things are coming out of the mountains. Expansion in your life with creation. And this is what you're creating. That abundance. And realizing wealth and abundance. Or maybe even considering defining those things like prosperity, wealth, abundance. Different key words. What do they mean to you? Joy and happiness. The Metatron cards here to support your aura. It's like this is what I want my fire to be, is a little bit lighter and lighter and lighter, to see a little bit of that yellow flame. Can we have one more for Pisces? Thank you. Codependency, key to freedom. There is some sort of pairing happening going on here. I don't know what it is. There's a ringing in my right ear. The challenge was to take the key and then turn it. Take the key and turn it. Signs from Spirit with love. You might be receiving a lot of messages to support this, because Spirit is in between the space of it all and water emotional well-being. And perhaps this is you just heeding the messages, swimming, taking the backstroke, not through life, but taking a moment to sit back and reflect upon what you commit to, what is codependent, or maybe what you're moving from codependency to the wealth and abundance of interdependency, where individuals, partnership, pairing, professional, and all that kind of good stuff still remain intact, but knowing that we are complementary. Does that make sense? Hopefully, Pisces, it makes sense. All right, I'm going to go around your shaman's palm one more time with the native spirit cards, and we'll see if anything else comes up. Congratulations, Pisces. You are moving to, even if this is just the simple yet profound placement of mindset stuff. What's going on around me in the collective as well? Because suddenly I had the urge to look around. Look around at the world, not through the eyes of the media, not through the eyes of channels or journalists or newspapers. Just step outside and go to my typical, usual places, whatever that is. And suddenly I feel like I'm very, very present. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I am... This is the people that you immediately can interact with. These are the energies maybe you're most susceptible to. And I kind of want to take that in because it feels very local, very local. Maybe you're working with or considering stepping out into like local love, right? Like shopping more local. Because when I wander farther and farther out in the Piscean energy, like oracally speaking, and then I consider the world, right? And not that it was in any way, I'm not poo-pooing seeing it through anyone else's eyes or perspective or inspiration. That's in the media or in the newspapers. That's not what I'm doing. It was just for a moment, like drawing it all back to me and saying, but what do I see, right? What is my reality? How are the people at the gas station? What's the temperament like? And I feel like I'm really taking that in, perhaps to see different variations of abundance, prosperity, and wealth, or give it. And then then it's like once I have that grounding point of like that local love, and if I'm not happy with locally what's going on, you might decide to move. But then when I wander out into the worldly aspects of what's going on, it's like then I feel a little bit more prepared. Yeah, as an offering, I feel a little bit more prepared to interact with it because it's not as familiar, and it seems to always have to come through somebody. So it's like that telephone game, right? Somebody who's there interviewed somebody who's there, and that's their perception who interviewed. And do you know what I'm saying? Anyway, okay, we'll do this because I know that lighting's gonna be messy. Sorry, old habits die hard. So we have here offerings in your cave of ice that has come up with your challenge. And I think that you've asked for this because there's that exchange between the masculine and the feminine. Now I'm seeing your ink blot, like, oh, there's those serpents again. Where were they? They were in your shaman of reflections. They're getting ready for something. They have found a new mound or a new home is how it's feeling to me. I'm also seeing lizards. Dream Traveler is on the bottom. There's more pointing. I'm also seeing a Muppet from Sesame Street. I think it's Elmo. I understand that's not his nose, but I'm seeing Elmo. I'm also seeing a robot. I don't know if somebody's in like designs robots or robotics, or maybe as a mechanic, and I'm seeing them like the mechanicry of things. But But I'm seeing like robot, like automation. Thank you. Automation. I'm also seeing like cleaning, moving in the intestines, digestive system area. Like maybe somebody's doing like one of those cleanses, like a sorry, give me a moment here. As like a para cleanse or something specific, or yeah, I don't know, something along that lines. In your cave of wind is the white buffalo. This is stepping into like the winter season that kind of destroys the beauty of the spring and the summer. But I'm stepping into it very, very warm because my water has just simply changed forms. And now I can walk through it more materialistically, before when I was swimming and doing the backstroke. And now it's like I'm snowshoeing forward. I'm fine with that because I'm building different strengths in my mind, in the way I think, in the way I say things. Also, Pisces, I'm seeing lots of things around you that help you leverage height. In your cave of hearth fires is your shaman of reflection with your wounded healers. And again, there's that waterfall. Don't go chasing waterfalls. Please stick to the rivers and the lakes that you're used to. You've already done the healing when I was in the bath. But it might be continuous. There's a maintenance mode involved to keep the emotional well in a state of wellness. I keep praying for abundance in my cave of rivers. I can feel it coming. But these trees keep talking. I don't know. There might be something about trees that, speaking of trees, that really speak to you. Different kinds of bark, different layouts. It's like, because I'm seeing it like Braille. Even just tree energy, grounding, standing tall. In your abundance, whatever it looks like. Because everyone's putting like and I say everyone, but it just feels like a lot of the energies within myself in the Piscean and aura. It's like I can see this as a those pedals under a piano. I'm seeing that. And then also somebody like drumming the cymbals. So it's all good. It's all good. And I keep praying for something to come in. I accept the challenge. I commit action, activity, passivity, action, consequence, reassess. I make a new choice. Take the offer. And it's like it happens again. It gets me closer and closer to the south node of myself, to the solar plexus of myself, to the vitality of myself. All right, getting ready to close out here. Sorry, Pisces, if I rambled on here. I feel like I've gone on a lot longer than I intended to. But thank you so much for sharing, and subscribing if you haven't already. I truly appreciate it. And for allowing me to be a guest in your aura. And for everyone who does, you truly warm my haunted heart. And for being patient with me as I learn and grow and fiddle and fuss out in the open. Interesting. Oh, I have never gotten this tree before. Pisces. It's all about the trees. Okay. So I have the two I've never had. The tulip tree, adaptability. The transforming power of time brings flowers and fruits that are a sign of love and happiness. I don't know if you want to take that in, see if I can bring it up to you without being crazy about it. Blessings. Love and tenderness prepare you to enjoy the benefits of a new opportunity with the dove tree. Some sort of knowledge has been gained somewhere along the lines. The tulip tree, the dove tree, and last but not least, Pisces, the monkey puzzle tree. A solution. Believing in the impossible and holding tightly to the incredible can change your world. And that's funny because when I was singing that song, don't go chasing waterfalls. And when she says, please stick to the rivers and the lakes that you're used to, I'm not going to lie, inside, I was like, Don't tell me what to do. I want the waterfall. But me being Steph, it's like a personality. I'm like, oh, that's my rebellious nature coming out. Like, don't tell me. So I just kind of let it go. That whole conversation happened in my head because I was like, oh, my personality stepping through to answer that question. And truly what it means for you is the blessings and abundance, the solution to whatever it is that you may be thinking or contemplating about, the wounds that you're not licking endlessly. You're putting the polysporin on, you're creating the robotics, you're doing what needs to be automated so you can adapt and you can continue towards whatever new opportunities that you'll commit to again. And with this monkey puzzle tree, and you're holding on tightly to the waterfall versus the lakes and the rivers that you're used to. Pisces, I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much for being my muse. And I look forward to scrying with you again soon.